giving me the opportunity to win Teacher of the Year and the nomination. I was talking with Dan Simpson and just talking about the nomination for the award, and we were both saying how cover letters and resumes and things of that nature are certainly not our strengths. And so I got to thinking, and I talked to my wife, and my wife had the idea to shoot a video instead. So here we go. I think what I wanted to basically discuss here is kind of my body of work and what I've been up to for, the past maybe several years, and what I do to be the best coach I can be each day. What I've been working on the lesson tee, and kind of how I've been structuring my sessions with my players. Cover some accomplishments, and that's kind of what I want to do today. So thank you. Let's start with why do I do what I do? I think it's a great question. What gets me out of bed? What keeps me motivated? And I think the biggest thing for me was just, number one, golf. I love the game. Fell in love with the game when I was 5 years old, and it's given me, my whole career. I don't know where I would be, obviously, and what I would be doing if I didn't have golf. So I gotta just say thanks to that. And golf has been amazing for me, and what it's given me, the people I've met, and again, I don't know where I would be if I didn't have the game of golf. So that's certainly one reason I do what I do. I love helping people. I love trying to get people better. I love talking with people, different people. And I think just the day-to-day of being on the lesson tee, and how many different people you get to see, how many different people you get to meet, is super fun and enjoyable. So I think that's what I love probably the most about being a golf coach. One thing that I've been doing the last several years is I read a ton. I read a lot. I really have become a big learner, and just trying to understand the game of golf, life, and how we can be better as humans, and ultimately, I guess, how I can be better, and then how I can get my players better. So I read a lot, and what I do, basically I wake up each morning, and before the chaos of my kids getting out of bed and getting them off to school, and making breakfast and being a dad, I get up early and try to read for at least 30 to 60 minutes. And I really do try to differentiate what I read. I kind of go between a golf book, maybe the mental side of the golf, and then certainly some sort of self-help type book. I don't really read fiction anymore. Doesn't really interest me, so pretty much stick to nonfiction type books, and see what I can learn each time I read one. So quickly wanted to just kind of discuss a few books that I've read recently that I think are pretty cool. I've really gotten more into the mental side of the game and trying to understand that. The technical side, I feel like, is certainly a strength of mine, but I really have tried to become and feel I'm becoming a more holistic coach, where I can speak of the mental side and help people there, speak about nutrition, speak about fitness, and knowing that certainly the technical side of the swing and short game and things like that are my strength, but I'm certainly trying to become, and what I feel like I am now, is a much more holistic coach. So read this recently, Rick Sessinghaus, who is Colin Morikawa's coach, Golf, the Ultimate Game, Mind Game. really good book. A lot of really good mental stuff there. Most recent Bob Rotella book, Make Your Next Shot Your Best Shot, I thought was really cool because a lot more present day, modern day stories in there. And he likes to kind of go and talk a lot about stories with his people. And so I thought it's just a cool message on every shot, try to make it your best shot. More technical side, just recently read was The Stock Tour Swing by Tyler Farrell. Really good book. Couple little nuggets in there that has helped me when it comes to the technical side and learning. I've been into flow states and trying to understand how, well, me myself, and then helping my players how they can get into that flow state. And we've all probably been there at one point, and it's usually when we're at our best. So how can we get there more often? So I just read this recently, Golf Flow, Gio Valente. A lot of good, really good stuff in there. This one I know is basically hot off the press, The 4 Foundations of Golf, John Sherman. Comes more from a player's perspective, and he goes through a lot of strategy. Does touch on the mental side, misconceptions in golf. A lot of stats in there that are really good that I've been able to kind of show people and bring them back to reality. So 4 Foundations is a really, really good book. On the non-golf side, this is probably, I'm on my 3rd read of Mindset. Talks about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Been a game changer for me. That's why I think I'm on my 3rd time reading it, because it's such a great reminder that to become smart, you're not just born that way necessarily. You can work your way into that, and you're not just born a great golfer. You got to work at that. So understanding that we're not fixed, we have growth each day that we can get better has been pretty cool, and I would say it's really helped me as a dad to help my kids out. Along that line, just a kind of book I really keep on my bedside when I wake up. Good couple of reminders in here. The Dad Advice Project. Found that online. Jordan Spieth's dad, I think it was Jordan Spieth who posted it, and his dad is in there, along with a lot of other golfers and just some big business type people, and talking about kind of their philosophies on being a dad and how cool it is, and ways that they feel like they were successful. So just a good reminder each morning. Got to go with PJ Fleck, Row the Boat. Been really cool to kind of understand PJ and how he rocks, and I love what he's done with the players over there at the U. It seems like such a good message, and just feels like he's building good people is kind of what I really love about Row the Boat. The Mindful Athlete, another one I just picked up. Stumbled upon that one. Scott Fawcett, who does Decade, a strategy tool for people, was talking on a podcast about how he always felt Tiger Woods meditated, and he finally kind of confirmed that. I believe it was in an interview, and someone asked Tiger, do you meditate? And Tiger said, well, basically since I was born. So I thought that was kind of cool to know that Tiger's been meditating since he was literally out of the womb. So that's one way that I've been trying to better myself each day is learning and reading. I also listen to a lot of podcasts, golf podcasts. I tend to The Sweet Spot, On the Mark with Mark Immelman, Claude Harmon's. Usually I go to a podcast when it comes to golf is some instructor or some coach, tour coach. perhaps, and just see what I can learn from them. So social media it's been good. I would say for me personally, posting on social media is kind of not my thing. I know it's great for other people. During COVID, I kind of stepped out of my comfort zone, which was started to do some videos on YouTube and posted on Instagram. Ryan Paulson Golf is kind of my social media tag, and did some videos, instructional videos for kind of for the members, but also just for social media. So I felt like that was good for me to get out of my comfort zone there and start doing some things online, but kind of come to realize that it's not really my jam. And I think basically what I am using social media for now is kind of mostly Twitter, to be honest, and just following the people that I enjoy and I like. So the other podcast that has been a big game changer for me is called the Huberman Lab, and going down more again kind of on the mental brain side of learning how we learn better and how we can optimize our health, and how we can focus better. And that Huberman Lab's been a really cool one for me to kind of delve into, and certainly been a game changer for me. So those are kind of the things that I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, at least to help myself learn and try to get better as a coach. In regards to what I'm doing on the lesson tee, I've become a lot more working on the skills of impact ultimately. So what I've kind of obviously truly believe that matters is impact and the skills that go into that. So the contact on the face, face angle, path, and I would just say ground contact, or where the low point of the swing is. So kind of learning on attack angle, I guess we could call that, but really working on that a lot with my players, along with the technical side. So what's really kind of inspires me, or what it really gets me going when it comes to looking at golf swings. Obviously an Adam Scott golf swings like that are beautiful, but the ones that are different, that are quirky and look different, are what kind of make me interested in learning about what makes them work. And ultimately it's kind of trying to find what's been called their matchup, like what makes their swing work, what's matching up to make that face angle work, the path, and how the body works, and where their face angle is at. And so I've been working a lot more on trying to figure out what makes their golf swing work the best for them. And I certainly don't fit people into a mold. And then how can we get better at impact, just skill building, shot shaping, contact, things like that. So during a lesson, that's kind of typically what we cover. Technology wise, I would say I'm going more and more away from using video. I use video mostly for my own eyes. So what I'm seeing, I can look closer and make sure that that's what my eye is seeing. But I'll show people their swing, and certainly if they want to see their swing, and at least try to show them the change and make them feel good about that. Using a GC quad a lot, just to get, again, the factual data I think is important, like why measure something, and where we can get some factual data. Why would we guess when we can measure it? So we're working on mostly path and attack angle, just kind of seeing the numbers and things like that with the quad, but trying to not utilize technology as much, and get people to really feel and understand their golf swings, so when I'm not around, that they can fix it on their own. I think that's ultimately the biggest thing. How can we get them to know their swing enough when they're going downward or having a bad round, that they kind of have their toolkit or tool belt they can go to and help fix it on their own. I think that's really, really important as a coach to not have your people always relying on you. What else? I think, being more this holistic coach, I'm giving people a lot more kind of structured practice plans. So I want you to work on this technical side. I want you to work on these skill building games, and really trying to give them a lot more structure around what I want them to be practicing. Could be games, short games, things like that. So they have a plan when they come to the driving range. And then a lot of strategy, how can we get them to think better, work their way around the golf course better. So a lot, on course playing as much as I can, which is hard when you're at a busy private club, but I think it's really important to get on the golf course with your players to really see it and kind of watch them, how their routines are and how they're thinking. And so I think that's really, really important, but really trying to, again, going back to this kind of holistic thing, what can we do to structure a plan for them to help them reach their goals? And I think that's another really important point, is that, even before almost every lesson, I'm asking them, what's your goal? Where are you at? Where are the weaknesses? Where can we get better today? And let's go work on it. So I think that's kind of some of the main things that I've been doing. Accomplishments. I think this one's kind of hard for me. Again, I don't do very well talking about myself, but I think over the past several years, I have to probably utilize the name Ben Grieve, and he had some really good success there for a while, and I like to think that I helped him along the way a little bit. Brock Winter, I'm pretty proud of what he's done, and he came to me and he really wanted to elevate his game, and he was able to win the state tournament, and he just won a college event for North Dakota State University, and so that's cool to see. And he's a hard worker and a good kid, and so that's really fun. Probably a big highlight this summer, young kid I work with, Preston Miller. I work with his older brother too. Both play on the varsity team at St. Louis Park, and Preston got his first hole-in-one. He's 13. He's a 7th grader on the varsity team, and you maybe heard the story, but he got a hole-in-one on number 4, kept playing his golf ball, lost it. Another person behind him found it, put it in his bag, ended up getting a hole-in-one with the same ball on hole 16 at MGC, and so that was a pretty cool story. Made national news, and again, being the coach in me, I was a little more obviously proud of Preston's hole-in-one, but it was still a really, really cool story. I think it's amazing how just this morning I taught a straight beginner, Ramesh, and then I worked with Robbie Newbold, who is I think he's our 5-time club champion and just made the U.S. Mid-Am. So working with a straight beginner to a player like Robbie is, again, I think that's kind of fun and really cool, and that I get to do that. It keeps my day pretty interesting, seeing the differences. And with beginner golfers, you can kind of mold them, and you can experiment a little bit more with them, and use your ideas and see if it works. Where with a higher level player like a Robbie, you obviously got to be a little more careful of what you say and how you go about working with him. So that's always very interesting and exciting for me. What else accomplishment wise? Fun night has been something I've done for 11 years at MGC, and it's been really cool just to see that gets filled pretty much every year with about 50 women, and ranging from straight beginners to a little higher level players. It's certainly more of a beginner type program, and it's been a great way to get them involved and get them to the club, and had a lot of success with fun night, and just going over each night. We cover a different topic: putting, chipping, pitching, driving, just kind of going over about a half-hour clinic with each group. So that's been really cool to watch them go from not even knowing what a 7-iron or a sand wedge is to being able to play 18 holes. That's been really, really cool. Our junior golf has been also, we're a little strapped at MGC. We don't have a lot of space with our small driving range, so it's hard to have a big program, which I actually kind of enjoy, having only 10 to 15 kids in a group where you can get to know them better and certainly help them more one-on-one. So our junior golf program's been really fun to fill that, and have had a lot of success with some of these kids coming up. So yeah, I think that's just some couple highlights on what I'm proud of that's happened recently. I think none of this would happen if I didn't thank my wife Chelsea. If it wasn't for her, I would not even be close to the coach and person I am now. She pushes me every day and helps me get better. My 3 kids, I have 11, 8 and 6-year-olds, boy, girl. And it's definitely the hardest job in the world, but it's the most rewarding job. So it's pretty cool to see them grow and get better. I didn't think I'd get choked up. Sorry. But yeah, I just thought I would kind of show you what I'm doing and how I'm trying to be better every day as a person, as a coach, as a dad, a husband, a friend. So thanks for the time, and I appreciate it.